Recording. Hey, good afternoon. As we are working our way out of the pandemic and settling into this kind of new norm, um, the main thing I think on everybody's mind is how do we do that safely, especially as we're starting to travel. And today I'm excited to be able to share some things that I did to kind of support my health on just a recent trip, the first time I went back to flying. And I also want to just take a minute here at the beginning of the class. I'll mention this again at the end of the class, that we are going to be doing a special do-it-yourself class at the Merck on October the 2nd. And I'm really excited about it because it's going to be all on elevated immunity, and you're going to be able to put together your own wellness box. It's going to include an elderberry syrup that you can do daily to keep your health strong. We're going to deal with make a throat spray. We're going to make a detox bath, a chest rub. We're going to make rollers, and you're just going to learn how to have some things on hand for you during this season. It's pretty exciting. But please go to my website, naturallynozella.com, because space is limited. We can only have so many at that site. But I hope to see you there. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am just so glad you're here. This is Dr. Nozella, Doctor of Education, and very passionate about empowering others to achieve the quality of health that they desire. I retired almost a year ago after 18 years of working with the university as a nutrition educator and a coordinator of 2 federal nutrition programs for underserved audiences. And finally, I retired as the county director. And during that time, I traveled a lot until the pandemic hit. My last trip was December of 2019. And one thing for me about traveling was trying to stay healthy and having what I needed when I was on those trips, because I didn't want to have to make emergency stops at stores and try to find things. And so I always wanted to make sure I had things on hand, and I knew what to do before the pandemic, but I wasn't sure what I could do now. And then also for me, I always had a challenge as a child traveling. I grew up in a time when it really wasn't very safe for Blacks to travel freely through the country. We had to kind of take our own food because of the Jim Crow laws. We had to carefully plan our rest stops. We couldn't stop at many of the bathrooms. We used the Green Book to tell us where we could go and stay safely. And so as a child, I kind of had some nervousness, some trauma around all of that. And I often got sick when we were on family trips, probably because of food poisoning, because there was a lot of things that we didn't know about food safety that we know about now. I always was kind of constipated because eventually I would just not go to the bathroom at all because it was so hard to find a good one. And so I have learned that there are many things that I can do now. And of course, traveling is so much easier. We don't have all of those things, but many of them did inform some of the problems that I had before. But I've learned that I can take my own arsenal, especially of essential oils that are plant-based products that protect me at home, and I can take them with me. But the question is how to do that safely. So today I'm pretty excited to kind of share with you what I did on this last trip that I went, what I took with me. And we had a really, really good time during that trip. Before I get started though, I want to remind you that what I'm talking about today is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare provider. It's not intended to diagnose, to treat, to prevent, or to cure any disease. This is intended for educational purposes only. I really, really want to help you have all the resources that you need, the knowledge that you need, so you can make the best choices for your health. Always seek a healthcare provider that's knowledgeable in the area that you have concerns in, and that will support you on the journey that you have towards wellness. So let's get started. First of all, there's 3 areas for me when I talk about packing that I want to make sure I have with me. I want to make sure I have some things that are going to help me to get rid of the yucky. So I want to have good cleaning supplies. I want to have good sanitizing supplies. I want to make sure I have some things that'll support my health and wellness while I'm traveling. And I definitely want to have some things for nutrition and energy. And I know in flying, I've had friends that have tried to take all their cleaning things and had the TSA take the stuff out of their bags for them. And so I want to make sure that what I take, I get to keep and I can use, and it's really going to support me. So the first thing is knowing exactly what the TSA is saying. And if you go on their website, they pretty much say that you have to have a quart-sized bag like this, and you can put any liquids, any aerosols, any gels, creams, or paste in this carry-on bag, and that's what you can go through the checkpoint. And they have to be limited to travel sizes, so they can't be any larger than 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or less. But what was exciting for me was this meant that I could take my 5, my 10, or my 15 milliliter bottles of essential oils. So this is like a 5-ounce bottle and a 15 ounce. And I could even take my 10 milliliter bottles of rollers. I could take them. And what was exciting was my stuff fit into my bag. So I could take my hand sanitizer, my Ningxia packets and things that I use for nutrition, and they're going to fit in this bag. And I'm going to talk to you about that as well. When I went on the trip before, I did put everything in the bag, although before, when I stopped traveling in 2019, they didn't require me to use the bag anymore as long as I didn't have items that were larger. But I wasn't sure. So when I got ready to leave this time, I did put everything in the bag. But coming back, I didn't have to put anything in the bag. I could store it in my backpack the way I normally do. And that was pretty exciting. So let's get started. I'll tell you kind of what I did. But first of all, I want you to remember that you do not want to have any, I like to call them knockoffs. You want to make sure that you've got the best products with you that are going to keep you the safest. Okay. One of the things that was a major concern for me when the pandemic hit was that people really went overboard, and rightfully so, in trying to clean things. But then when we looked at the CDC recorded that their daily number of calls to the poison control centers increased starting in March 2020, because people were being exposed to cleaners and disinfectants. Their total number of calls across the board included all ages, but it really was showing children that were less than 5 years old and more were really a large percentage of those that were having issues with poison control. And generally it had to do with the products that people were using, mainly bleach. People were using a lot of bleach. Some of the non-alcoholic disinfectants they were using, the hand sanitizers they were using were very, very, very toxic. And generally it was because of inhalation of these products that it was causing these issues for people. So one of the things that is really concerning me was that if we're going to be doing more cleaning, which we need to do, we've got to do it with safe products. And, you know, one of the reasons that I have ongoing respiratory issues even now is because I didn't understand the damage that all the household cleaners and things did to our lungs. And early in our marriage, I was cleaning our apartments with lots and lots of bleach, lots and lots of ammonia, lots and lots of abrasive, very strong cleaners. I wasn't using a mask. I didn't have proper ventilation. And I developed serious respiratory issues. And in fact, it's a miracle kind of that I have any lung capacity. And it was because of that someone introduced to me to Young Living essential oils. A friend was watching me just struggle with my breathing and coughing at one time. And she asked me, could she apply some oils to my feet? And I thought it was kind of weird and strange. But when she did it, I did discover that I was able to breathe so much better. So let me just stop here and just be really upfront with you. I just use Young Living Premium Essential Oils. I've used them for over 20 years. And yes, I have tried to find better deals. I've tried to find cheaper oils. But when I did, okay, I found out that they were fragrances, they were synthetic, they had solvents in it, and actually they made my health worse. And in fact, today I heard a financial advisor say that often the cheapest isn't the best buy. For example, sugar water is a cheap fuel, but it's not really good for our cars. Cheap luggage, she was saying, isn't a good buy because you have to replace it so often. So it's really not a good deal when it comes to our bodies. We only get one, and we don't want replacement parts. So we want to put in our bodies and on our bodies the best things that are going to help our bodies. And so I just found myself, before wasting my money, when I really ended up always coming back to Young Living because I could trust them. They've been around for 28 years. They're the legacy company. They're the founder of the modern essential oil movement. And as a premier company, they set the standard for essential oils and oil-infused supplements across the continent. Many companies don't take the extra steps that Young Living takes to provide us with the top of the line products that they know are going to work. They take pride in what they do in having a really high quality essential oil, and they back that with that guarantee. That's when you hear that seed to seal guarantee, because they guarantee purity from the sourcing of the seed, the science that they do, and the standards that they set. And they have these strict guidelines. I mean, listen to this. I mean, their plant material is grown on corporately owned farms, carefully vetted partner farms that you can visit. They use sustainable farming and sourcing practices, providing the purest oil. They take great care to preserve and protect the natural resources. They hand weed their fields, so there's zero use of pesticides. Their oils retain all of the natural constituents and the beneficial properties. And they use a distilling process that will make sure that you have all of those constituents in the oils that you get, because they use a low pressure, low temperature distillation. And their testing is so rigorous within the company and outside labs that test them as well. And what I like most is that if that oil doesn't fit their standards, they're not going to use it. It's rejected. And that means a lot to me, because I'd rather not have it than have something I know that's going to be harmful for me. So let's talk about these, because this is really the one product that is known the most in Young Living and is used the most when we're talking about our health and wellness, and we're talking about really supporting our immune system. So just a little background. Thieves Essential Blend is a combination of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary essential oils. And it was formulated by the founder, D. Gary Young, after he did a lot of research in the archives of the British Museum Library. And that's where he learned about this group of 14th century European perfumers and spice traders who would rub these oils similar to these on themselves when they were robbing the dead and they were getting sick. Okay. So he put this blend together, and it was the first essential oil blend that was scientifically evaluated in a university research laboratory. It's been around for a long time, but it has this rich, spicy aroma. It's a key ingredient in many of the products, especially the home care products, the products we're going to talk about today. And there's also the Thieves Vitality meaning that it can be ingested. It has a white label. And so that offers the key benefits for our overall wellness and support of your healthy immune system. And so we know that the Thieves oil and the Thieves Vitality, the same essential oil, they're labeled differently, so you know that it can be ingested. But this blend is key when we talk about having something with us that's going to help us with the cleaning and the sanitizing. So of course, all through the airport, everywhere we're going, every time we get ready to eat, we want to have that hand sanitizer with us, right? But we want a hand sanitizer that is not going to harm us. It's not going to have on the label that says, very harmful for children, do not ingest and all this kind of stuff, because it's harmful. And so the Thieves waterless hand sanitizer is really mild. It's friendly to your skin, but it's 99.99% effective against germs. Okay. You can get it in a large container, but I really like this travel size. Is the one that I'm able to put in my little bag. It lightly moisturizes, so it's really mild because it has aloe vera in it, and it has a plant-based glycerin in it, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue. It doesn't have any petrochemicals, no mineral oil, no paraffins, no sulfates, no phthalates, no synthetic fragrances, no dyes, and no preservatives. So I'm not harming myself at the same time I'm protecting myself. And then it's infused with the Young Living Signature Thieves. Okay, so it's infused with the clove, the lemon, the eucalyptus, the rosemary, the cinnamon bark, all of that. Plus it has some peppermint in it as well. So very, very effective hand sanitizer, easy to carry with me. And then my all-time favorite for the cleaning and sanitizing, especially when I'm traveling, is the Thieves spray, because you can spray it on anything. You can spray it on all the surfaces when traveling. When I walk into a hotel room, I sit my bags at the door and I take my Thieves spray and I spray everything in that room, all the knobs, all the doors, the bathroom, the sheets. I spray everything. And I usually have 2 or 3 of these, one that I have on my person and one in my suitcase. I spray everything because it is so very effective. And many people have tried to do Lysol. It's so toxic. I use this instead of that. It works so well as to use. And then of course I have my Thieves, actually my Thieves essential oil, which is so easy to use because I can put a drop on my hand. I really like when I sit down on the airplane in my seat, put a drop on my hand, rub my hands together, and then put my hands up at the vent because that helps the airflow that's coming through. I put a little on me here kind of as a protective, but keep in mind, it doesn't contain any toxins. It has naturally derived plant-based ingredients. You don't have to rinse the Thieves spray when you use it. It's very safe for the whole family, including the children and the pets. I love the portable size. You can spray it on the hard surfaces. Like I told you, I just spritz it on everything, and it's so easy to clean. And if you really want to take a cleaner with you, what I have found as being helpful is this 15 milliliter bottle, recycle it, put 2 capfuls of just the Thieves cleaner in it. Okay, put that in one of these bottles, take an empty plastic spray bottle with you. And then when you get where you're going, just one capful or 2, depending on how strong you want it to be. 1 is usually enough. Put it in there, fill your spray bottle up, and then you can clean in your room or wherever you're at with that if you want to carry that with you. And of course, the Thieves cleaner, you know, is plant-based as well. It's naturally derived from ingredients, and it's so effective, but again, it doesn't have any of the synthetics in it. It's not harmful to the health. It's ultra concentrated, but it's not abrasive, and it just works on all surfaces. It cleans so well with everything. So that's another thing. And it's just, again, it's so easy to just pack that along with you. Now, for me, I want to make sure that I've got the things with me that I need for my health and for my wellness. And so I've found that about 10 oils, if I have them with me, then I'm going to have everything I need to make sure that I'm supporting my health. I want to make sure while I'm traveling that I'm being hydrated, that I'm drinking enough water. And it's hard to do. And I know sometimes we think about, if I drink too much water, I'll have to go to the bathroom, whatever. But we really need to recognize that it's better to be hydrated than to be dehydrated and end up sick. And what you can do is you can always put a drop of lemon in your oil. The lemon has D-limonene in it, and that supports your immune system. Or you can put citrus fresh in there in your water, and that very easily helps you with your hydration going there. And then you also want to make sure that you're getting some immune support. So I can either just put my Thieves oil on, or I like to make a little Thieves roller, and I just put equal parts of the Thieves oil, a little lemon, peppermint, and lavender. So just equal parts of Thieves, lemon, peppermint, and lavender. And I put it kind of in a roller ball, or I will recycle one of these bottles and just put a roller filament on top of it. Makes it easy. Again, it's small, but it's kind of like a wellness roller, and I can just easily roll that on. I also want to make sure I've got some respiratory support. As I told you, sometimes it's hard to breathe, and depending on what the airflow is in the areas that I'm in, having some respiratory support. So having Raven is always awesome. And sometimes putting just a drop or 2 of Raven on the mask really helps with the breathing as well. I have another little roller that I like to put together for just the throat, and it contains like 8 drops of my Raven and 8 drops of my lemon. So equal parts of my Raven and the lemon. And in the roller, I can just kind of put that on my chest here, or just the bridge of my nose, or sometimes in the bottom of my feet, just to give me a little more respiratory support. Now, when I'm traveling, digestion is a main issue. Sometimes just my nerves affect my digestive system. So I always make sure that I have Digest with me, because it's a blend that has tarragon in it, it has ginger in it, it has some peppermint, juniper, a little fennel, a little lemongrass, a little anise, and a little patchouli in it. And so when I have that, I just carry the Digest with me. When I go to the bathroom, I just rub a little bit on my tummy, makes it real easy. Or sometimes I just use my peppermint if I'm feeling a little queasy, a little concerned about being motion sickness. I might just take a drop or two of my peppermint and just do some deep breathing. It really supports me there. And then I find that I need something for my nervous system. I told you some of the concerns I had as a child kind of carry over when I'm traveling. I get a little anxious, and what are things going to be like? And especially on this trip, it was the first time we were flying back, flying again, and I just didn't know what to expect. You hear all this stuff on the news. And so to just kind of calm myself, I like to use my frankincense or my stress away or my lavender. And again, I just take a drop or two of those and I just do some deep breaths, just do 10 deep breaths. And it's amazing how it just kind of calms me. Even when I go through and say the ticket's not working right, or I get someone that's a little in a bad mood, you know, that's working with me, or some of the passengers are a little anxious, or babies are crying, you know, just taking out the oils, you know, the frankincense, that stress away. I tell you, stress away is amazing. Taking it out. I've heard babies crying on the plane, and I just take it out and just put it on my hands and just wave my hands, and babies kind of calm down a little bit just as I calm down. So I really like those for supporting my nervous system. And then my muscles and bones and joints need some support. Man, I'm sitting on the airplane, walking a lot. I just need something there. So I really like to have Panaway, because it has that wintergreen, helichrysum, clove, and peppermint. And I just kind of rub them on my knees, a little on my ankles a little bit. I might even do a little on my shoulders, just to kind of help me relax a little bit there when I feel like I've been standing or sitting a little bit too much. But it's right there, whatever I need. And I can support any system I need. The oils are so versatile, and you can see they fit right in the bag. They're so small, and they're easy to use. I mean, I can just put them on topically, as I might put them on the muscles or joints, but aromatically, making that scent tent where I put a couple drops here and just breathing in deeply. Or internally, remember we talked about putting a drop of one of the vitality oils into your drop of water, into your tea, into your coffee. I tell you, Thieves is wonderful in hot tea or hot coffee, just a drop. It's just great. But also you can use a gel capsule if you want some more immediate support. One of the things I did this last time was I actually got me, I ordered, when they asked me what I wanted to drink, I just got seltzer water because I didn't want to add in too much of the soft drink and things like that. And then I put a drop of the oil in, and then I put my Ningxia Red in. And that gets us into the next area, because we're going to talk about how to support your nutrition. So the nutrition, what I carry with me are a couple of packs of my Ningxia Red. They're so easy. And again, they fit into the bag because for me, getting good nutrition is real unpredictable when I'm traveling. I don't know when I'm going to be able to eat. I don't know if they'll have things that I can eat that won't upset my stomach. And so I know if I have my Ningxia there, it'll ensure that I'm getting good nutrition no matter what. And I can have one or two. I just need one or two in a day to make sure I know that I'm getting it. And keep in mind, it is packed. Ningxia is packed with most powerful antioxidants and superfoods. It's such a superfood because it has the wolfberry, plum, aronia, cherry, blueberry, pomegranate juices, extracts to start your day off. I mean, and the clinical studies, more and more coming out that reveal that Ningxia Red significantly increases your physical energy levels, which are really neat when I travel. It improves your sleep patterns, which are really neat when I travel. Okay, it increases your time of sleep, and then it reduces the daily stress to improve your mental well-being. It also really contains those premium essential oils because you're getting some orange, yuzu lemon, some tangerine, and all of these combined help prevent oxidative stress. So they support your normal cellular function and they promote your healthy energy levels. And we need that energy. You know, I also like the studies have shown they provide that energy without caffeine. They increase your physical energy levels while they reduce any physical limitations you may feel like you might have, and they really support whole body health and wellness. I just love all of that about Nietzsche. And then on top of that, I can carry the nitro if I feel like I need a little more cognitive fitness support. I have the little tube of nitro, and it's just a delicious little wolfberry drink. It's infused with essential oils again, and some botanical extracts like D-ribose, has a little Korean ginseng, a little green tea, and it increases that cognitive alertness and my mental fitness, and just kind of supports my overall performance. And so it's kind of like a little pick-me-up, especially when I'm traveling all day and I feel like I'm getting a little tired or a little weary. It's kind of that pick me up. And so it was so fun and I enjoyed it so much because, as I mentioned earlier, on the plane, I asked for the seltzer water. And in my seltzer water, I put a pack of my Ningxia Red and a little nitro into it. And so when we had to change planes, but I felt like I had energy. I felt like I was in a good mood. I felt alert. I felt hydrated all during that time as I was traveling. And it just ended up going and coming being a really, really good trip. One other thing that I really make sure that I pack, and this goes depending on what you're carry on in, these are so lightweight, you can carry them on if you want to make sure you have them with you, or you can put them in the bag that you have them take and you pick up when you get back to the airport. But I want to make sure I have a good diffuser with me. And I used to carry my Desert Mist diffuser with me. And the thing I like about these diffusers, I've seen some cheaper ones, and the same thing about that. This is an atomizer, it's a diffuser and a humidifier at the same time. It's cold water, so it doesn't do anything to the oils itself. And the diffusers is a good way to help relax. It gets rid of odors. It's excellent. And the Desert Mist one has like 7 different light settings that you can use it. So it kind of can act like a candle if you wanted to do that. It runs about 5 hours continuously, or you can put it on a low mode and you can have it run for about 8 hours, or intermittently it'll run like 10 hours for you. And then my Sweet Aroma has become my favorite ultrasonic diffuser. It covers like an area of 323 square feet. So it works for my hotel room, but it has a really far-reaching mist. And I have 2 modes that I can put it in. It has a nice little fun lights, about 10 different light cycles, and it runs about intermittently about 8 hours for me as well. Very, very lightweight, doesn't take up much room in my baggage, and I just really love it doing that. So I was able to carry all these things with me. I knew I could be confident that I had what I needed with me as I was traveling, and it was so easy to get through TSA. And I just felt good the whole time knowing that I was so supportive. I just want to let you know that it's so easy to get these oils, have these things available for you. So I do want to make sure that you know how to get them at the Best Buy. A good way is just to hop on my website, click shop, and you can get your Ningxia, you can get your Nitro, you can get your Super, you can get a few of the oils that you've heard me talk about today, okay? And I would definitely encourage you to sign up for the class that we're gonna have just on my website. Sign up. I'd love to see you on October the 22nd as we actually do some make and take and put together your wellness box. But a better way for you to get started would be to actually make sure that you had a premium starter bundle, because you can get all the oils that I talked about today, plus the Ningxia, 2 packs of the Ningxia, plus the hand sanitizer, plus the spray, plus the diffuser, all that for over 50% off the retail cost. And you will have everything you need for travel, whether you are doing a short trip or a long trip. And then the best way, I mean, if you want to get started, you want to make sure that you have during this season, you're not out of having the things you need for your wellness, is to make sure that you have your premium starter bundle, but you also put your Ningxia and your Nitro, perhaps the Thieves Cleaner, on loyalty rewards. Because when you do that, you have an order of 100 PV, you immediately are going to start getting free product. You're going to start getting 10% in loyalty points that they work as cash, okay? And the longer you're on the loyalty program, you're going to receive a greater percentage in points, up to 25%. It's an amazing deal. So you will always have what you need to support your health during this season, and you'll know that you're doing it safely. To make sure that you do have all these things that we talked about today, whether you're doing a short weekend road trip, whether you're just going back and forth to work and you want to have these things with you, or you're going to do some kind of international flight in between, I encourage you, go to my website, click on this QR code, okay? It'll take you right to the things that we talked about today, and get your wellness products now, okay? This is a season that we are so looking forward to. Things have been so crazy in the past years, but we want to make sure that everyone is doing it safely. We want to make sure you have what you need to do it safely. Again, I do want to invite you to my elevated immunity class. It's going to be October the 22nd. We're going to make an elderberry wellness syrup. We're going to make a throat spray. We're going to do a detox bath mix. We're going to do a chest rub. We're going to even do a Be Well roller. And I'd love to have you there to talk more. I want to thank you so much for being with me. Take a picture here and be well. This is Wellness Wednesday. Be well. Enjoy your oils.